What's up guys, it's John here, and in this video I'm going to be showing you why you should be hiring writers, how you can hire writers, and where I actually hire my writers from. I'm also going to include a template which will be in the description, which can also help you hire writers. I'm going to be jumping on my computer where I'm going to show you step by step how I make a job description when I'm trying to get a new writer. And I'm also going to be talking about how much I pay my writers and how that process works. If that's something that sounds interesting to you, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, click that little bell to get notified every time I release a new video, and don't forget to smash that like button. If you're new here, my name is John, and on this channel I talk about affiliate marketing, building content sites, print on demand, as well as other online business opportunities which I like to share on this channel. So in this video I'm going to be talking about how I go about hiring writers. Now I'm going to do this video as a step-by-step process, so I will be jumping on my computer where I'm going to put a job listing together. I'm going to be looking at why I hire writers, where I hire them from. At the moment I pretty much hire my writers from Upwork. It's a fantastic place where you can get freelance writers. I've been using it for about 3 or 4 years now. I've never had a problem. As long as you filter the candidates through and you put up a good job posting, then you generally can get some really good writers on there. I will also be looking at how much I pay my writers and how that process actually works. So the two main things I'm going to focus on in this video are going to be the job description, which makes sure that you get the right candidates for the job, for the niche site, or for whatever you want the content writing for. I'm also be going to looking at how I build a template, which once I've got my writers out, I'm going to test some writers out who've decided to go with, that I give this template to them so that when the articles actually come back to me, they come back to me in the correct format, as in they've got the H2 tags, the H3 tags, the H4 tags. And I'm also just going to be talking about how I go about hiring a writer on a trial basis. I will include 2 templates. One is for an example of a job description when posting my job. In the minute I'm actually going to go step by step, post a job on Upwork, so you'll be able to see the whole process and how I go about doing that. I've also got a template which is just an idea how I may lay out one of my sites, so I can send them the template so they know how to format an article before sending it back to me. That way when an article comes in from a writer, it's usually formatted correctly with the H1 tags, H2 tags, H3 tags, and I can literally paste it straight onto my site. Make sure you stick around to the end though, because at the end I do show how I check articles and make sure that they've not been copied from the internet using Grammarly. I'll also, at the very end of this video, I'll be giving you an idea on how I come up with article topics for my writers. So one of my sites, for example, has got nearly 1,000 articles on. Now it takes some going to get that amount of articles on a site, though I'm going to show you a piece of software which I use. It allows me to come up with topic ideas really quickly with a good idea, and I really do recommend that software, so I will show that but at the end of the video. So why hire writers in the first place? Well, for me it's more about freeing up time so that I can actually work on other aspects of my business. Now, I'm not the best writer in the world by any means, and the other reason is quite often when I hire writers, they can write a much better article than me. So for me, it frees up the time so that I focus on actually running the business rather than working on the business. So the question I usually get asked is, how much do I pay my writers? Now, I'll tell you straight off the bat, I usually pay between 20 and 25 US dollars per 1,000 words. The work quality is usually relatively good. So I'm going to jump on my screen in a moment and I'm going to show you the job listing. Now, I put it on the Google Doc because it's easy to read and it's easy to show you on screen. I'm also going to be putting it onto Upwork, so I'll go through the whole process on Upwork on how I do a job listing, and then we'll be having a quick look at the template which I give them after I've got some writers to test. I've got a template which, like I mentioned earlier, I'll put a link in the description so you can have a look at that template and get an idea on how to tell the writers the format which you want. Now, that template is just a guide, so depending on how you want to arrange your articles, your template will be different, but it's just a good example. Give the writers an idea of what format you're actually looking for. So let's jump on my computer now then. So I'm on my computer now, so usually if I'm looking for writers, I get all my writers from Upwork. So I'm going to show you the job description. This is an example of a job description which ensures that you get the right writers and they know what to expect, they know what they're writing for, they know how much they're getting paid, they know how it works. So I'll quickly go through this job description and I'll show you how I usually format a job description. So as you can see, what I'm saying is I'm looking for 3 very talented native English speaking writer, ideally from the UK, as the articles are aimed at UK readers. Now, as you can see, I'm looking for people who can write highly detailed review type articles on mostly pet products. So this is an example if it was for a pet site who's reviewing pet products. So if it was more informational articles, then you could mention that. If it was a general niche, then you could mention that. If it was to do with a total different niche like DIY, then you would mention that instead of pet products. So in the article, I also go on to say which would include things like best dog life jackets, best car seat, best automatic cat feeders. So right there, I'm showing them the type of articles they will be writing. So straight away they know they're going to be looking at doing items on reviews, and they can see what sort of writing they're going to be doing. We also need writers to write reviews on products related to reptiles such as snakes, fish, aquariums. So having knowledge and experience in these topics would be important. If you only have knowledge on dogs and cat products, this is okay, as we have plenty of articles just on those topics too. So what I'm telling them is there's a certain part of the writing which is really they could do with having knowledge in aquariums or knowledge in reptiles. So this could mean a few things. This could mean that they've worked at a pet store and they've had experience with handling reptiles. They may just even have an aquarium at home and have an interest in aquariums. They may have reptiles or snakes at home. So they don't need to work at a zoo if they've got a snake at home, or if they have a fish tank, or if they've worked in a pet store, or if they've worked in a business that sells pet products in general and they've been involved in that part of it where they might have sold tanks for reptiles, say, then it's a good start. And you'd be surprised that if you mention it, how many people you will find who have experience in these certain niches, who've got an aquarium at home and who have a reptiles at home, and and just things like that. So I put a bit of history of who I am. I run several established authority websites, but the recently launched pet product website. So I'm looking for the very best writers to contribute with the best articles. For the right writers, there is consistent work. So I'm telling the writer straight away, there's consistent work here for you for the foreseeable future. And I also tell them I'm looking for 2 to 4 articles a week to start with. So they know straight away that if they get this job, then there's going to be 2 to 4 articles to write a week. So I'll go even further. I put, we will send you a list of between 5 and 8 products. So I'm telling them that we've already done quite a lot of research and we've found 5 to 8 products which we think should be included in the article. We will then send a layout template and guidelines to help format the article. So again, this is the template which I will send them so they know exactly how to format these review style articles. Then I go on to tell them we're going to pay $20 per 1,000 words. So they know straight away that the payment for making these articles and writing these articles is $20 per 1,000 words. And I also let them know that usually these articles are around 2,000 to 4,000 words an article. So straight away they know they're going to be earning between $40 and $80 an article. So each week they could be earning between $80 and $160 a week. And then I get on to it's essential that you are familiar with pets such as dogs, cats, rabbits. So there's a lot of people who have dogs and cats and rabbits. So if you've obviously got a pet, then it's a big advantage because you do have experience in it. And then I put again, if you've got experience in reptiles and aquariums, this would be a plus. So again, if you do have an aquarium or if you have reptiles, then that's a big plus and something that they should mention when applying for the job. The detailed review articles are usually between 2,000 and 4,000 words. So I'm just mentioning that again, I'm stating out how these articles pay. These will be very detailed articles that require some real research by you on the products from the buyer's guide. These are not articles to write in a few minutes. So straight away, I'm letting the writers know that there's going to be a little bit of research into these products to write these articles. It's not something they're going to put together in 60 minutes. So that's something that they've got to bear in mind. So the requirements will have knowledge on the topics, and this should come off in your article and voice. You should have experience writing best list and buyer's guide. Most of these articles will be best lists and reviews, so we are looking for someone who can do a great job writing in this format. Now, I do put this in, but I found some great writers in the past who have never done a review type article ever. So usually, if they're a good writer and you guide them with an article template, and you give them a chance, you can find some great writers even if they don't have experience. Now, A big one is ability to research. You will need to spend a significant amount of time researching each product and the best products in the category for each list. Expect to spend at least 20 to 30% of your writing time doing research. So that's letting them know that for every hour time you spend writing, you may spend around 20-25 minutes of that time actually doing product research. So I go on here to tell them how you'd go about doing some product research. So look at what people on Amazon are saying about the actual product. Find out what bloggers and other sites are saying about the product. List exactly what the real pros and cons of the product. Write with a casual voice that conveys your knowledge. So, payment. So this is how I tell them how the payment works. For these lists, we're going to pay $20 per 1,000 words. We obviously will not know how long the article is until it is finished, although we do usually have an idea by the type of products being reviewed. Keep in mind, these are not lists you can write in an hour. So I'm saying that again, you will not write these reviews in an hour. If that's what you're looking for, this job is not for you. If you do, your work will certainly be rejected. So it's letting them know, if you apply and you get the job and you write these lists in an hour and they're not up to standard, they'll just be rejected. Let them know that straight away, because it'll put off the people who are likely to do that. All work is checked with Copyscape. Like I said, I'm going to mention how I check work. Copyscape is a way to check it. I actually use Grammarly to check if work has been copied now, because with Grammarly you can also use it to improve the article if it's been edited. If I'm editing it myself, then I run it through Grammarly. I can check through plagiarism at the same time as that I can improve the article. It's a really good piece of software. If you're doing writing, I would not do it without using Grammarly, because it makes the article so much better and it saves so much time. Next, I put, if you're impressed with your work, there will be long-term position. We'll have at least 150 to 200 articles and many more in the future. We will start with a couple of test articles, and if we're happy with the work, we will ask for 2 to 4 articles a week and more. So it's just letting them know that if you get the job and the work is good, then you will have work for the foreseeable future. You know, with 200 articles, there's at least 6 months to a year's work, depending on how many articles they want to take on. Now, how to apply. Please send me a detailed message stating why you are qualified for the job. I want to know especially why you qualify for this job. People who worked in pet stores or similar, I'm especially interested in. So again, I'm saying if you worked in a pet store, please come forward, because you may be suitable for this position. Please include any samples of your work that were pet list related. You could also just say, please include samples of your work to get an idea of what their writing's like. And then this is important, this bit. I will retain all copyright to the material produced. That's letting them know that the copyright belongs to me. I've attached a copy of an example of the type of review article you will need to put together. Your work should be up to at least this standard. So when I do a job posting, I usually attach a document of an article that one of my writers has already done, because they can see that article and they can say, look, this is the standard the articles are written on. They can see the format of it, they can see everything about it, and if they think they can produce an article that is very similar in format and writing to that, then they would be a good fit. And then, this is another big point, because when you put a job listing on Upwork, you can sometimes get like these large writing agencies. They have an automatic description that they paste in and they send to every job that's put on Upwork. So to try and avoid getting these, what I usually do is put, at the start of your reply, start with yellow monkey, so I know you have read the whole job description. Anyone who does not will be rejected straight away to avoid time wasters. Please freelancers only, no agencies. Thank you for reading. Now, the reason I tell them to put yellow monkey at the start of their application is, if they put yellow monkey in, that means that they've read the whole job description, so they know what to expect, but they've read to the bottom. So as soon as I put a job posting, I usually get quite a lot of applicants applying for the job. Now, the ones that have not put yellow monkey at the top of their application, I straight away just cross them out and say no. Then the ones that I put yellow monkey at the top, I then bring them forward so I can look into their application more. It's just a good way to straight away, if you get 50 applicants, for example, that's a lot of applicants, but if there's only 5 of them who have put yellow monkey at the beginning, remember, you could change that yellow monkey to whatever phrase you want. It's just so you know that they've read to the end of the job description. But if you do get 50 applicants, you might only have 5 who put yellow monkey at the top, so I get rid of the rest straight away. Then I focus on them 5, then I read through them, and then the few that I think are a good fit, I would then take them on a trial basis. So now that we've gone through the job description, I'm going to go to Upwork. I'm going to show you how you actually put a job on Upwork for writers. I'm going to paste this job description in as an example. I don't think I'll put the job description online, but it's not a job I need. Obviously, this is an example. But I will show you step by step how to put a job listing on Upwork. So I'll copy this because it's an example of a job description. So let's say go to Upwork. Now I can sign in. So you go to post a job. Now create a new job post, short term or part time, longer, so more than 30 hours a week, 3 months plus, short term or part time work. So you click that, click continue, then you enter a job name. So looking for article writer for pet niche to write reviews. So we're looking for content writing, so make sure content writing is selected, then click next. Now the job description is what I previously have just read through with you and shown you an example of. So I'm going to paste that in there. So you can upload additional project files. Now this is optional, and if you've got an example of an article which you've written or had written in the past, and that's the sort of work you're looking for, then that is where you would then attach it here. You would upload, choose the file off your computer and upload it. But for this case, I'm not going to do that. So I'm going to click next. I'm going to put it's an ongoing project. You can add screening questions. Now I usually would add screening questions. So it gives you some examples here. So I'm going to take, do you have any questions about the job description? What challenging part of the job you're most experienced in? What part of the job most appeals to you? And what are the required job skills do you feel you are strongest at? So I'm just going to add these questions, because that's another way. You can add your own questions as well. The cover letter, you want to make sure this is ticked, because so then when they apply for the job, they would then add their own cover letter. It would introduce themselves. Now when the cover letter comes, you can use that to judge what their writing is like and how interested they are in the job. And it shows off that they're passionate in the subject, then that'd be a good start. Now if you get a cover letter and there's not much to it, then that may show that that writer's not going to be suitable. So then, what skills and expertise are most important to you in content writing? So I'm going to go with content writing and research. Content writing deliverables optional. So no, we don't need any of that. Writing topics, no. Written languages, so I'm going to choose English. Now you could choose North America, you could choose Ireland, you could choose Australia, England. Again, it depends on what you're looking for. What additional skills and expertise are important to you? So I'm looking for someone who's good at research, website content. So you're just looking for article writing, creative writing as well. And then you carry on. What type of experience should your freelancers have? Now on this section, I usually just go for entry level, because you can still get the experts, intermediate. For the purpose of this, I'll go with intermediate. Next. Now on here is the location. So I'm actually based in the UK, so I could select this if I want the UK only. But if I'm not too worried, which quite often I'm not, you could choose worldwide, and then you could choose different regions. So you might go United Kingdom. So United Kingdom. You might put United States. So let's put that. United States. I know that Canada is a good one, so we might put Canada in. Then Australia. So I'm going to stick with them 4 because they're English speaking countries. Click next. Who can see this job? So I'm going to put that. How many freelancers do you need for the job? Now I'd usually recommend that you would choose more than one, and put number of freelancers, maybe put 3, because that way you can take on a couple of freelancers, then you can give them a couple of articles to write, and then depending on which one is the best during the trial period, then you could go with the one. If you do happen to find 2 that are really good writers, if you can, I would say try and keep them. For example, if you're going to have 4 articles a week written, then you could perhaps tell them you've got 2 to 4 articles a week, and you could give them 2 each. You could trial them both for a couple of weeks. If one of them was a lot better than the other, then you could take them on full time, and the other writer could tell them that it's not really worked out and cancel the contract. If they're both good, then you could maybe give them 2 articles each. As you grow your business, then you've got 2 good writers, and you could give them more articles. So anyway, get back to the screen. Do you have specific freelancers and agencies that you want to invite? So no. Talent preferences. Let's just see what this is. So the talent type is independent. If you don't, then you might get agencies contacting you, which really you want to avoid. Success score. So I usually look for 90% and better. English level, fluent and better. You could go with native or bilingual if you wanted. Amount earned. Where it says amount earned, this is the amount that the freelancers have actually earned on Upwork. So you could just put $100 and more. So next, how would you like to pay your freelancers or agencies? Now, do a fixed price. Do you have a specific budget? So this doesn't really matter because once the budget is reached, it doesn't change anything. The job just carry on and on and on. So you can put $1,000 next, and then you just double check all the information, and then you would click post job now. I'm not going to click post job now because I don't need the job. This is just an example, and that's it. Usually within a day you've got quite a few applicants applying for the job. You can vet them applicants. You can make sure that they say that phrase I talked about earlier, yellow monkey I put, so that I knew they'd read the whole job description. Then you start working through the writers. Now, I will mention, when it comes to paying the writers for the articles, because it's not a set amount, because you're paying them, say, $20 per 1,000 words, what I usually do is send them the first article. I would attach a copy of the template. I would send them the first guide. So basically, if it was a review, it would be the product which they review with links so they can see the descriptions. They could then do their own research. They could go on Amazon, read a few reviews. But then once they send an article back and it comes to pay, what usually happens is you put in a certain amount of money. So say you put in $60 milestone, then that's kept with Upwork. When I get the article back and I'm happy with it, I then go on to payment and I release that $60. But you also have the option to add a bonus. Click on the bonus, and then you put in the difference. So if it was 100, I've already put 60 in, so then I'll click on bonus, I'd put 40 and I click pay, and then they would get paid the full amount for the article. Then for the next article, I would click start new milestone, and then I could then add the next articles for them to write. I usually group all the articles together, so if I'm giving them 4 a week, I usually upload the articles for the 4. I would then say to them, I need them back by, say, Monday, which may be in 7 days' time. So for the final part of the video, I'm going to show you how I use Grammarly to check through the articles. It helps with the editing of the articles. It's a plagiarism checker, which is good. It's mainly the one I use now. So to use the plagiarism checker though, and to use some of the extra features, you'd have to sign up to the premium subscription. It's not too expensive, but if you just want to use it to check through articles, then you can actually get Grammarly for free. If you use Google Docs, then it checks your work while you're on Google Docs, or you can go to the Grammarly site, log in, you can paste your article in there, you can make all your changes, you can check for plagiarism, make sure they've not took any parts off other articles on the internet. So I'll jump on my computer quickly, it'll only take a minute, and I'll just quickly show you how I use Grammarly. So I'm on Grammarly here. So before I had the article, which I uploaded for the job title. So I won't upload it. So if I just click on new, I can paste that in there, and then it gives you the option to set goals. So for example, the audience by default is knowledgeable, but depending on which one you want to choose, you can set your goals. I usually go with neutral for this. Domain, I usually go with general. For the tone, could go for something like friendly. Intent is to inform, I suppose. So on Grammarly, now this is my job description, so I could have put this in before, but if you get an article back of a writer, then one of the best things to do is to put it in here and do your editing within Grammarly, because as you can see, it will bring things up that you can change. So I'm looking for free, and then you can change it. So yeah, I could go with the word free, and it just gives you the sentence appears to be written in a passive voice. So it's just helping you out as you go along. So obviously there's a comma missing there, so it's telling me that it would be important. So you could change the word significantly necessary. So what does it say? So having knowledge and experience on these topics would be important. So yeah, that's still the right word, but it's good that it's giving you other examples you might want to use. So that should say of its saying. So if you only have knowledge on dogs, so yeah, you could change that. That sounds better, of dogs. So you can work your way through, and it gives you all these different examples of what needs changing, how a sentence should be structured, if it's structured incorrectly, any spelling mistakes. Something it does do, and it does this automatically, is it's set that if there's spelling mistakes, it will automatically change those spelling mistakes. So I was talking about the plagiarism checker earlier. So down in the right hand corner, there's the plagiarism there. Then you click on the plagiarism checker, then it will tell you. So it's come up with one which is similar. So it's saying 15% matches this resource. Now you go into that and you can check what is copied. But if you're looking where it says blue, you can see that it's picked up an article which has used a similar thing. This is someone has gone and put a job posting up which is similar to the job posting I have done, but it's obviously in the boxing niche. Use some of the same words, so ability to research. They've obviously wrote the same thing. You will need to spend. Look at what people on Amazon are saying about. So it's picked up on these. Whereas if you had a writer who sent an article and it was picking up on like large sentences, or like even worse, like whole paragraphs, or a few paragraphs that have clearly just been copied, you would know that writer is on the internet and is just copying parts and pasting them in for your article, and it's not entirely written in their own words. When I get new articles, I always paste them in here. I always check them with a plagiarism checker, and I also use it obviously to improve the writing in the article before pasting it onto my site. So sometimes it can be difficult to come up with topics to have articles written about. Now, for instance, one of my sites has just under 1,000 articles, and it takes a lot of work to come up with just enough topics to write about to get to 1,000 articles in the first place. So what I actually use is a piece of software called SEMrush. Now I use this to get topic ideas, so I'm not going to go into detail, but I will quickly show you on the screen what you can do. So you can go to content marketing, and then if you go to topic research, wait for it to load, then you can search for your topic. So if your site was, for example, was about dogs, you may think, well, I could do with some articles on Labradors. So if you were to search Labradors, you'd wait for it to load. Then as you can see, it would come up here. Now, what you want to do is you want to choose prioritize topics by topic efficiency, because what this is doing is it's getting the keywords that people search on Google, or the phrases that are searched for the most but shouldn't be too hard to rank for. So if you open this up, show more, dog food. Now it's this bit here you want to look at. So questions. So it's got here, how often should I feed my Labrador dog? What do I feed my 6-month Labrador puppy? What do I feed a month-old Labrador? Then you could put things like how. How often should I feed my Labrador dog? How to make my 2-year Labrador dog fat? Which is the best dog food for Labradors? Put what? As you can see, these are all phrases you could write an article about. So it's a good way of coming up with article ideas. I'll just look at another one. So say Labrador Retriever temperament. So we can come down on here, and again on the right hand side we've got questions that should be related to that. So what is the temperament of a purebred yellow lab? What are the best characteristics of a terrier Labrador mix? Are Labradors friendly or dangerous? So again, these are all questions that you could write a whole article on. This is a SEM Rush. I will put a link in the description. I'll also put a link for Grammarly in the description so you can check that out too. We'll have the link of the 2 templates I mentioned earlier in the description. So I think that wraps up this video. If you found it interesting, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to click that little bell to get notified every time I release a new video just like this. And don't forget to smash that like button, as it really does help me out. So until next time, have a good day.